Going on, this is Jack2505. Patch 8.0 is finally here. It's June 26th. Siege mode is here for everybody now. It's been around for a few weeks or so for PC players in the player test server, but today is a full release for PC and console. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and I hope you've been enjoying my Siege videos. And now it's for a time for most of you, well, all of you now, to have a go for yourself. So Siege mode is a free update, the Horde mode, new PvE mode, and it also comes with cosmetic rewards with your guns, helmet, and pauldron as well. So if you complete up to 15 waves on hard, you'll get rewards. Also getting up to 25 waves as well, so that's really good. An improvement on what I thought the rewards were going to be. And you get the Blood Angels cosmetic pack and the White Scars chapter pack with free weapon skins as well. We're also getting tweaks and changes, class and weapon perks balancing, absolute difficulty, rebalancing, and options to turn the bots on and off in private lobbies, which is really good. So that's going to be good for the true solo runs. And one or two changes to the bulwark as well. Bulwark now has access to the Thunder Hammer at the cost of not having a shield. So we're gonna have to try that later. So with Siege mode, it expands the PvE operations, emphasizing endless enemy waves that challenge even the strongest teams. When overwhelmed, players may call reinforcements for assistance, engage in intense battles across 3 distinctive sectors, each requiring strategic adaptation. Side objectives emerge during combat, providing essential resources used to summon elite space marines or a formidable dreadnought, drastically shifting battlefield dynamics. So you survive against the waves, face increasingly challenging enemy waves with direct assaults from Tyranids mixed in with the chaos enemies. I've had a bit of feedback myself in regards to that, where players would much rather face the Tyranids rather than the chaos. But I'm a big believer in Horde, where you do need a bit of variety of enemies, so I don't mind the mix. And the side objectives also, they're good, encouraging players to basically get more credits, because trust me, you're gonna need it with those tougher waves, in particular the Terminus boss waves. So in my previous video, I'm not going to go over the ins and outs of Siege. I've already done it already, but there is a requisition terminal where you buy your consumables, get your reinforcements, and support as well. So if you want to know more about it, you can visit my previous videos on the Siege mode. And in the boss encounters, there are times where you get 2 and up to 3 bosses at a time. I still think it's a little bit too much, but I'm going to just go with the flow now, because at times it can be absolutely chaotic where you got 3 hell brutes basically taking over the whole map, and it's crazy. So if you resolve endures through 15 brutal waves, prepare for endless combat of increasing difficulty, reduced resources, and shorter preparation times. So once you get to 15 and above, it then turns into endless waves. They have made a few changes in regards to the awful timer that was in the player test servers. You guys have seen this in my previous videos, and some of you have experienced it for yourself, in which you lost around 30 to 40 seconds for each wave that was going. So it got to the point where if you didn't complete the wave in 3 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever, the round would just end, and it was really annoying. And there are a few DLSS for changes, as well as RTAO features added. And I mentioned before about the White Scar chapters also being added. Mentioned earlier, gameplay and balancing tweaks. So a new finisher for the Bulwark. So adding new finishers for Bulwark with shield. So that's going to be for the Tazangor and the Hormagaunt as well. Terminus update for absolute difficulty. A second terminus can now appear during the mission. Carnifex, Neurothrope, and Hellbrew HP increased by 33% on absolute difficulty. Level specific terminus enemies, with the exception of the Bio Titan, HP increased by 66% on absolute difficulty. So they're making the enemies way tankier. Additional enemy packs will appear upon terminus enemy spawns, and again, when the HP is reduced to 50%. I don't like this. I hate when games do this, where you're doing well against a boss, and your reward is more enemies. I really don't like that change at all. Fair enough, the boss comes with his crew, but if you're doing well against the boss, you're taking care of the new enemies that spawn. Why spawn more? But that's just the way the developers are going. And these additional packs are now slightly more challenging, featuring more extremist enemies, more extremist enemies. Like we didn't have enough already. Mission with final bosses can now also spawn terminus enemies. Previously, like decapitation didn't allow any terminus spawns. Wow. Okay. So I remember there was a community poll before in which players were asked to vote and um, basically tweak the difficulties with the devs. So they were saying that we think absolute difficulty wasn't that hard to begin with, and now a slight power creep of constant weapons and buffs. It was even worse. So having two terminus enemies now in operations at the same time. Wow. Okay. So it's been a while since I've been in operations. I've been spending so much time in siege, but we will go back to that and give that a little test. Now, prestige perk class updates. Bulwark prestige perks update rally point. The perk has been reworked. The new perk is embodied stand. Sorry if I butchered that. So old chapter banner additionally removes negative status whilst active. New, when the chapter banner is active, all squad members do not lose control upon taking heavy hits and cannot be knocked back within its zone. Now, is that within a few seconds, or is that throughout the whole duration of the banner being up? Again, we'll have to look into that. I've already played the update, but I haven't really noticed that kind of difference yet. The Assault Prestige update. Collecting an armor restores ability charge by 100%. This is now being changed. So when charging a ground pound, you become invulnerable for 3 seconds. Now, at first I misread this. I thought, oh my god, when I do a ground pound, I become invulnerable for 3 seconds. But no. So when you're charging it, so when you're hanging in the air where before you were so vulnerable to enemy fire. So if you charge it, you become invulnerable for 3 seconds. So the way I'm reading this is you are invulnerable in the air for 3 seconds, not when you hit the ground. Again, gonna have to test this. Now the sniper boosted recharge, which has been reworked. The new perk is called material upgrade, where the old one was collecting an armor boost restores ability charge by 100%. So new equipment damage radius is increased by 15%. Good perk on the wrong class. I think it would have been better if the sniper had, I don't know, increased headshot damage or something like that, or hitting 2 headshots grants a 200% buff on the next shot or something like that. But I think this equipment damage radius probably would have been better off with Vanguard or the tactical, maybe even the heavy. Moving on to the heavy prestige perks update. So the old activating Iron Halo removes negative status effects, which is now equipped weapons maximum spread decreased by 25% when firing without aiming. Gonna have to give that one a test as well. I would have preferred with aiming, and it's called honed precision, because I can't think, well, unless you're using the melter, there's not really a time when I'm not aiming with the heavy. And then with the tactical prestige perks update, skill supplier, fix a bug preventing the player from getting the maximum ammo. Class perk updates, starting with the bulwark. Forward momentum has been updated. So after a shield bash, the old one was melee damage increased by 30% for 10 seconds. New, after a shield bash or thunder hammer pommel smash, melee damage is increased by 30% for 10 seconds. Concussive force, shield bash deals 200% more damage, and then the new shield bash deals 200% more damage. Thunderhammer pommel smash deals 100% more damage and deals area of effect damage within a 7-meter radius. Cooldown is 5 seconds. Okay. Merciless Resolve. After a shield bash, melee damage is increased by 15%. You don't lose control after taking heavy hits, and you can't be knocked back for 10 seconds. And then the new one is after a shield bash or thunderhammer pommel smash, melee damage is increased by 15%, and you don't lose control, blah blah blah. So this sounds like it'd be really good against extremists, and in particular terminus bosses when it's easier to basically stand your ground. And focus restoration, that this perk has also been buffed as well. So you've got with the tactical, the new one. I'll just concentrate on the new ones now. So after a finisher, the equipped range weapon reloads automatically, and your primary weapon does 20% more damage for 10 seconds. That's really good. That's a really good that's a really good perk. And then Communion of Fire has been reworked. The new perk is now Secure Stockpile. Equipment charge is restored by 1 for all squad members. Cooldown is 60 seconds. Let's see. So, right. Okay, that's no problem. And then Steady Aim has been buffed. Weapon spread and recoil is reduced by 20%, and range damage against terminus level enemies increased by 10%. Good perk there. Assaults perks update. Wing Fury has now been buffed. Damage from melee attacks executed while sprinting or dashing increased by 40%. Damage increased from 40% to 100%. Wow. Hammer of Wrath. This perk has been buffed. So, after a ground pound, you take 15% less range damage, and you don't lose control upon taking heavy hits. Can't be knocked back. Damage reduction increased from 15 to 20%. Knockback immunity increased from 10 to 15 seconds. So the assault is really being geared out to be an absolute tank in close quarter combat that takes even longer to be knocked back or knocked down. Vanguard perk updates, moving target. This has now been buffed. Each melee attack you land reduces the range damage you take by 2% up to 20%. If you do not land a melee attack for 5 seconds, the effect ends. So the consecutive hit multiplier increased from 2 to 5%. Max bonus increase from 20 to 30%. Retribution, also buffed. So after you're grabbed or knocked back, you deal 25% more melee damage for 15 seconds. So the bonus increased from 25 to 30%. Duration increased from 15 to 20 seconds. Sniper perks update. Precision targeting. So this has been buffed. Weapon spread is reduced by 25%, and range damage against extremist level enemies is increased by 10% for all squad members. So range damage against extremist level enemies increased from 10 to 15%. That's a good buff there. And dexterous hands. So bolt carbines reload 20% faster, and their weapon spread and recoil reduced by 15%. And then you've got weapon perks update with the Inferno pistol perk up. Ever since this weapon came out, I've not really dived into it that much. To be honest, I don't think it was very good. So it's been buffed where if your armor is depleted, reload speed increases by 20%. I don't know. It just seems like more of a PvP perk to me. And then the Neo Volkite pistol update. So after a gunstrike, heating speed increases by 30% for 6 seconds. Duration increased from 2 to 6 seconds. So let's see. Spawn mines. Damage reduced by 55%. I have felt this difference in my early gameplay today. So that's a nice change because it got to the point where spawn mines were just basically the bosses of the game. Neurothrope reduced health by 15%. So that's good. And lots of minor animation fixes for various enemies. And then a lot of general fixes as well. I'll put the full patch notes in the description box below. So that's a lot of the general stuff, the stuff that basically sprung off the page for me. Overall, I think this is going to be a very good update, in particular for the console players who have not yet experienced siege mode. Siege mode, I mean, I've been asked earlier, what would I give it out of 10? At the moment, I would give it an 8 out of 10. Sorry about the police siren in the background. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. It might go up to a 9. I think the rewards are good. I think there should be more rewards. And also, I love the way they've addressed the timer now, in regards to not increasing the time every time you pass a wave, rather than keep reducing the time. But again, we have to see how that goes. I'm sure you Warhammer lore guys out there, you're gonna like the new cosmetics and the champion pack as well. Overall, I think there's some really good changes here and good ways to challenge the Space Marine 2 sweats out there who have been absolutely destroying this game on absolute difficulty as well as soloing up the place. So they're looking to challenge us now, and let's see what the game can do. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below. Also, I'm going to be live streaming all weekend Siege mode. Feel free to join in. We're going to try and tackle those hard mods, try and get those rewards. Now, thank you very much for making it to the end of the video. My name is Jack2505, and I'll see you in the next video.